Hey, I'm Randy Younger, New York City's go to film enthusiast. Every week, I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and this is another episode of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. And with me tonight, I have one of my all-time favorite people, Mr. Chris Clemente. Chris, how's it going?
Wow. Oh, phenomenal. How's it going, brother? How are you?
Oh.
What an entrance. Thank you.
Hey, it's been a while, so I had to really zhuzh it
Yeah,
up.
you gotta puff me up. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. You deserve it, man. You're awesome.
Uh,
Always happy to
but
have you on.
yes, and as you're we're two wild and crazy guys.
We
There
are.
you
Hey.
go.
And I just realized this is the first show I'm doing as a 40-year-old. And it is
Oh no.
interesting. It's interesting,
No.
I'll say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's
Well, no sudden movements.
yeah, yeah.
You don't want to strain your neck or
Uh,
anything. Be
nurse,
careful.
nurse, I'd like to look at the ocean, please. If you can name that movie, you get some points.
Um, I'm horrible at this,
All
but
right.
no.
That was Billy Crystal,
Okay.
uh,
Uh,
City Slickers 2,
so of
uh,
course, City Slickers.
The Legend of Curly's Gold, one of my all-time favorites.
Of
And
course, of
yes,
course.
I'm looking forward to starring in City Slickers 3,
There
uh,
you
Bringing in the Herd, coming to the
go.
theaters this fall. Okay.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I should have
So
known that with City Slickers. You always have a reference to City Slickers.
this is just a great film, and now that I'm 40, I could relate to it a little bit more because that was their age.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm not saying I have a midlife crisis yet, but you never know. It might be around the corner.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, enough of that.
Go watch This Is 40.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a funny one too.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Actually, before we get into the show, I actually did see Paul Rudd right by 30 Rockefeller Center about maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was just rushing around, and he had some guy with him, and he looks good, I must say. He doesn't look like he's
It's good
acting.
genes.
Really good, nice hair. He was he had
Yeah.
it all put together. It was good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. No, years ago, he when I worked at WebMD,
Mm,
he passed by the office,
okay.
and you could tell like people just flocked to the door just to see him. And he had his dog, and he was actually picking up dog poop,
Really?
and people were like enamored, like, "Oh my God, he's a real guy!" He
Right. You would
walks
think
his dog just like the rest of us.
you would think he'd have like an entourage to do that for him. Okay.
Right, right. No, no, he's a guy that keeps it real. So
I like that. I like that. Keeping it real with
yeah,
Rudd.
keeping it real. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
so tonight we're going to be discussing two films from a very talented director, a young director. He's actually younger than 40, Mr. Ryan Coogler, and you might know him best from the Black Panther films, from Creed.
It's
He,
incredible.
yes,
It's his filmography is incredible
it really is.
for yeah, yeah.
So basically, we're going to be discussing two of his films. One is currently in theaters, and it is called Sinners, and it stars the very talented Michael B. Jordan. And it's a very interesting film because it starts off as almost a period piece in 1930s South, Mississippi Delta, actually, to be exact. And then
Mm.
halfway through, it morphs into this amazing, like, white-knuckled vampire action thriller horror. And you would think that these two separate genres won't really mix well, but I think it's the perfect ingredients for a successful film. And
Yeah.
it's just fantastic. So it stars Michael B. Jordan in a dual role. He plays twin brothers, both criminals. They come back to their hometown, and things seem to be going pretty okay. They're moving right along in their lives and their careers. Then all of a sudden, when they want to start a business, they want to basically form a juke joint. And once they do that, they have their opening night party, and some very unsavory individuals show up. They are vampires, and they do want to feed. And havoc ensues. There's a serious From Dusk Till Dawn vibe going on
Mhm.
here, which I love. That's a great vampire thriller horror. And yeah, it really it lends itself well to this film. And honestly,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it again because it was
Yep.
a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chris, I mean, I saw it with
Oh,
you. I'm so glad I
yeah.
saw it with you in the theater. It was a great
Yes.
experience.
Yes. We saw it together.
Yes.
Yay. We saw it together. And what a film to see together. Um, I love this film.
Mhm.
I adore it. I was so excited to see it. Not knowing too much, I knew about the gangster period element of that. I knew about the vampire, but I didn't know how it was going to be pulled off,
Mhm.
and it blew my expectations. I
Mhm.
think that for Ryan Coogler, this is his masterpiece. I think this is he has for someone his age and when we were talking offline about it, we were talking about like just comparable directors to him, and he has this quality, for my money, that's almost like Spielberg, in a
Yeah.
way,
Mhm.
where like you have this young buck who's already doing so many blockbusters. He's doing Black Panther, he's doing Creed. He could do anything, and he does something completely wildly original. And I'm so happy that he was able to make this
Yeah.
in today's cinema going age, and it is something that is so uniquely refreshing to see on the big screen. This has to be seen on the big screen, in
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion. I mean,
Mhm.
as I was mentioning to you, like the we had a small audience, as cinema going is nowadays. It's
Yeah.
just a small audience, but I felt like we were all captivated. We were all on the edge of our seats throughout, even the first half of the movie, which is that period piece that you were mentioning.
Right.
And it's really like an hour of setup.
Yeah.
It's getting to know these characters and really taking our time with them and understanding the dynamics of the brothers, understanding their relationships with the women that they're involved with. And you would think that that would be dull, but it's not. Even
Right.
for conversational piece, it's just a gripping way of getting to know it. And the payoff is so exquisite because it allows us to really take time to to know these characters so that when the
Mhm.
S hits the fan in the second half of the movie, we
Mhm.
feel for these characters.
Yeah.
And whatever, like the writing in this movie is so great.
Right.
Every character has their own arc, has their own way of pushing the movie forward. I think we will see some awards given to actors in this movie come award season. I mean, Michael B. Jordan's great, and
Yeah.
and I think this is the performance of his career. I think, he was great in Creed, but this is something that I think was completely outside of his wheelhouse.
Mhm.
And I think it just shows his chops a little bit more, especially since he's acting with himself.
Right.
He's taking two parts, which, is a feat and a task on its own, and he does it seamlessly. Um,
Mhm.
but Haley Steinfeld,
Yes.
right? I think
He's
I
great.
mean,
I love
she always does a great performance,
it. Yeah.
even dating back to True Grit.
Hmm.
But there was
Right.
something about her performance here that again stood it apart from her other performances, and like her character really pushed the story forward. Without her, you wouldn't have the story that it is. So I'm thinking that when award season does come, I think I would love to see a nod go her way.
Yeah, no, she is extremely effective in this film. She's
Yeah,
beautiful
everyone
too.
is.
She's like a real
Yeah,
siren, very like
yeah,
bombshell who basically
yeah.
was one of the
Well, and
yeah
yeah, timeless. She has a
yeah
timeless look that, goes great with the look and feel of,
perfect.
1930s, Mississippi,
Mhm.
kind of gangster. And also, as we see later on in the film, they go into, later on in decades later, in the
Mhm.
90s, and she pulls that look off too,
Right.
so
No spoilers, Chris. No,
yes, yes, no spoilers.
but I know what you
No.
mean.
It's a vampire movie though. You have to go across sometime.
She's got a great look. I would love to see her get a nomination. Same
Yeah.
with Jordan. And
Yeah.
you mentioned that he is very effective as well. He
Yep.
he is an anti-hero in the true sense of the word because he's a criminal. He's got a checkered
Right.
past. And there's two of them. They're brother. They're a
Yeah.
criminal brotherhood. But he basically turns out to be not such a bad guy. Um,
No.
he's very strong, very convincing. Also, I wanted to mention some of the other cast here. Jack O'Connell, he does play the lead vampire here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he is just terrifying. At first, you think he's just some regular average Joe, but
Yeah.
things kind of progress, or
Yeah.
they devolve and they escalate.
What
Uh,
does it? Yeah.
yeah, he is fantastic. He's
And
frightening.
that transformation rests
Right.
on his shoulders.
He's
And
he's very charismatic. He's like a likable monster, which is quite a feat, I must say, for an actor. And he does
yeah.
it so very,
Oh,
very well.
yeah. I mean,
Also,
he does. Yeah, he does play like a devilish type of Dracula type of
mhm.
character. So he needs to have that charisma about him, and he does. And he's a great singer too. He has a good set of lungs,
Yeah, yeah, he
as
sounded
as a
good.
lot of people.
The
Yeah.
Irish folk song, and
Yeah,
that was
I love that.
that's a good
Yeah.
scene.
And we gotta
Also,
talk. Yeah, we gotta talk about after we go through a list of characters, just
uh,
what music plays
yes.
in this movie.
So
Yeah,
before
yeah, yeah.
that, I do want to mention one of my all-time favorite actors working today, Delroy Lindo, who
Hmm.
plays this drunken musician that basically starts to work at this juke joint. And
Hmm.
I've loved Delroy Lindo ever since Get Shorty. He was snubbed for an Oscar when he starred in The Five Bloods, which is a really great Spike Lee film. He's
Hmm.
great in this. He doesn't get enough screen time, but every second he's on screen is something to
Hmm.
be treasured. So
Again,
Delroy Lindo is amazing. I hope he
yeah.
continues to make really good films, great performances, and also so the music you just mentioned, Chris,
I
Miles.
just, yeah, I just want to say one thing though.
Sure, sure.
Like, I'm looking at these actors and these characters. I'm looking
Yeah.
at Delroy, and I'm like, it's not a secondary character. Like, he does things, especially towards the end, and without him, you don't have the ending that we do. Like, so
Mhm.
like he's an instrumental part, the same way that Haley Steinfeld's an instrumental part.
Right.
I'm looking at Lee Jun Lee, who
Mhm.
play and her, Yao, who plays her husband.
Okay.
They're kind of this Chinese immigrant couple, but
Right.
they don't play a stereotypical Chinese couple as you would think in the 1930s Mississippi. Like,
Hmm.
they are very grounded, very real. And again, Lee Jun Lee, without her,
Yeah.
certain things won't happen. So like it's very rare where you see an ensemble like this, where every character has a really critical element to the storyline. It's
Right.
like sometimes with a lot of writing and a lot of stories, if you could pluck characters out and you
Hmm.
still have the story, but each one of these characters, boy, without them, you wouldn't have the full story, the unique story that, comes across on the screen.
Agreed. Agreed. Everyone brings something great to the table.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't even know about this actress, but Wunmi Masaku, who plays one of the brothers' lovers. and
Yep.
she is just such a force. She's powerful. She's got a presence. Very
Yep.
talented, strong actress with her.
Yep.
Omar Benson Miller, who
Yep.
looks extremely familiar. Where do I know him from exactly? He he's done some TV, CSI Miami.
And
Um, yeah,
we have to mention Miles Caden, who
yes.
plays Sammy Moore.
Who?
He plays kind of the counterpart to Michael B. Jordan.
Mhm.
Um, and it's his first movie.
I
It's
believe so.
he's kind of a protege when it comes to music, and
Yeah,
he's just a tour de force on the guitar. He learned guitar for this movie, I learned, and
yeah.
he has a great unique singing voice. So like
He is a
he's something to
musician.
look out for.
He is a
Yeah,
musician. He does black gospel, R&B, and blues.
yeah,
And I want to talk about the music real quick before we review our second film.
yeah,
The music in this film is brilliant, and there are scenes.
yes.
I don't want to give stuff away, but the music is basically a character in its own, and
Hmm.
it really it makes you
Yeah,
like you feel like you're in the 30s and in this time period, this era, this place in the Mississippi Delta. The music
yeah.
really informs the plot.
Oh,
It brings everything together. It moves the story along, and
it's so powerful.
yeah,
It's palpable. It's
I love
it's
it.
it's. I mean, not to give spoilers away, but like even in the very beginning, even the first scene kind of mentions that, music has a way of conjuring up spirits and conjuring up evil,
Yeah,
presence. So,
right.
it kind of sets the theme very earlier on. And again, not giving away spoilers, but there is a crescendo that happens almost midway in the movie
Right,
that
right.
it's one of the best scenes I've seen in movies in a very
I
long time.
I think I know the scene you're talking about, and I agree. It might be one of I think it is the best scene of the film.
Yeah.
It just
Oh, for sure.
it comes out of nowhere, and
Comes out of
it's
nowhere.
beautiful.
Yeah. It has all these musical elements.
Right.
It's it's bombastic. You want to jump up and dance in your seat, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel out of place. Like there's so much going on, but it feels so right,
Yeah.
and
It's a very effective scene.
yeah.
It literally transcends time, and
Yes, it literally does.
I'm
Yes.
not going to say anything else about it. It's my favorite sequence in the
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I was shaking her arm when I was watching. I'm like, oh my
he
God,
did, yeah.
so good.
That was
Yeah.
great. That was great.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? I love this film. I can't wait to see it again. And yeah,
I, I,
I hope it gets nominated for some awards because it really deserves it. If
I,
not, the
I can't,
soundtrack alone deserves a few awards.
yeah. I
So
can't wait, to see what, Ryan Coogler does next,
yeah.
To be honest, like he was never really on my radar, on my Unger radar.
Yes, yes.
Like I love Creed. I wasn't a big fan of the sequels, but
Right,
I love Creed when that came out.
right,
Black Panther is what it is, and it's fine.
right.
But this really, like, I was like, oh boy, like I if this is him
Yeah.
being, unhinged from a property, from a franchise, and doing something completely on his own,
Oh yeah.
I want to see more of this. So yeah, I can't wait.
Now the man you mentioned Spielberg, good comparison.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's hard to compare, but like if you
No.
look at Spielberg, his first movie, well, second movie, Jaws,
Mhm.
adapted, and
Yeah.
then he went on to make, some properties, and you could kind of see that with him. Like Coogler has his own vision, he has his own vibe, he has his own people that he's working with. He has, a vision and a message that he wants to come across,
Right.
almost like Spielberg, when it comes to like Schindler's List and
All
having
right.
some personal movies
Um,
too. This is a
so
very personal movie. Yeah.
yeah, like Spielberg, he's dipped his toe in the pond of many, many genres, you know,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I cannot wait to see what else he has in store. this film is. I think I agree with you that this is a masterpiece, and the more I think about it, the more I digest it in my mind. It's
Yeah,
really just a wonderfully, just a great film.
yeah.
We are running low on time, but I did want to touch on Coogler's first, his directorial debut, his first feature film, Fruitvale Station, from
Yep.
2013. And this film is actually based on a true story of a tragic story, actually, of Oscar Grant III, who was a 22-year-old resident of the Bay Area, San Francisco, I believe, um, who basically gets murdered by the local police. Uh, this was also Michael B. Jordan. It was the first time that Jordan and Coogler worked together, and they created such a powerful film here. Obviously, based on a true story, they really, you know, amplified this
Mm.
horrible moment in history, in American history. And
Mm.
I just wanted to mention that this is his first directorial effort, um, his first major film, and
Mhm.
to basically go from 2013 to today and to see the evolution,
Mm.
the Creed, then Black Panther, then Wakanda Forever, and now Sinners. Ryan Coogler is without a doubt one of the best filmmakers working today. I would say. Would you agree, Chris?
Oh, I think if it wasn't apparent before, it definitely is now. Like
Yeah.
he has such a strong vision. He can transcend genres, can
Okay.
transcend time. And I think and he's a complete visionary. He's a complete auteur, and I think that is what's needed in film culture today, more than ever. So, I think him among other visionaries like himself, I think he's going to be one of the pillars that keeps cinema going, until AI takes everything over.
Right. Yeah. Let's hope we get like human beings making movies. That's all.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um,
Yeah, just for a little bit longer, please.
yeah. And Coogler is only 38 years old, and he's so far done
Yeah,
some great stuff,
yeah,
really
yeah.
memorable
Like
films.
really great stuff,
I
really
mean,
great
I don't
stuff.
want to say, I mean, I don't want to be ageist or anything, but for his age, he is doing very well.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, absolutely, absolutely. Like, someone who is this confident in taking on
Mm,
big properties like Marvel and Black
yeah.
Panther and Creed and Stallone, and making his own stuff. It's you could see that confidence even with
Yeah.
Fruitvale Station,
Oh, yeah.
you know, having watched that with you too. Like
Mhm.
you Fruitvale was a powerful message, but it was nothing to look at, like you could tell that it was a debut and you could
Right.
tell that, you know, budgets were limited and they were kind of doing guerrilla tactics to get it out the door. But you could see that that was the stepping stone for a Black Panther, for
Right.
Creed, and for Sinners. And,
Right.
it took that to get here. And you could see, that woodwork in the making back then. And
Yeah.
it was only 2013, which
Right.
is, not that long ago. Not
Yeah.
that long ago.
It wasn't, but even though it
Wow.
was his first major film, and the direction was on point, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of shaky camera action, a lot of
Yeah.
almost like cinema verite, like
Yeah.
documentary
Yeah.
style. It was
Yeah.
very effective for that
Yeah.
story.
It
Um,
has the feeling of a first-time filmmaker
yeah,
who doesn't have the backing of a studio that wants to relay this message
mm,
and, is working with what he has, which are shaky cams, which are, on location. Let's go into this grocery store and shoot some
yeah,
footage and let's get a cast assembled. And oh my God, I have, Michael B. Jordan who is starting out from The Wire. Like, let me
right,
attach myself to him, and it's just this it feels almost like Scorsese and De Niro in a sense of
yeah, yeah,
like on the set of Mean Streets, Mean Streets was very raw and
yeah,
very gritty and like
right,
Fruitvale was. So like it seems like, hey, if he has the same chops that a Spielberg or Martin Scorsese had back in when they were young,
Yeah.
then I think he's off to a great, a
Oh yeah.
great,
I am
trajectory
I'm
to
definitely
a
looking
bigger,
forward
better career.
Definitely looking forward to future Coogler projects. I definitely, I'm
Yeah.
without a doubt, I'm pretty sure he's going to just keep going, keep, ascending. And I love that we just
Yeah.
discussed his
Yeah.
evolution as a filmmaker because he's
Yeah.
not done yet by a long
Yeah.
shot. He's got a lot more
Yeah.
ammunition.
No,
So
and
let's see.
I hope that he gets the budget and gets the backing to make them in theaters,
I
like
just don't want him to overuse that budget and make it too glossy. I want to see more, grounded
I mean,
films. You know,
yeah, like well he has like in Black Panther and like
right.
there's a time and a place for that, but then hey, if for every Black Panther if he can create something like this, like Sinners, fine.
Right.
That's
Right.
fantastic.
I'm looking forward.
I just hope he can continue to make movies for the cinema because this needs like for your audience who at this point it needs to pick and choose what they see in the theater. I would say
Yeah.
go out and see this one.
Yeah.
Like
It's worth it.
yes, yes, Thunderbolts are out. Yes, we
Yeah.
have Fantastic Four coming up, and that's all
Right.
getting gravy. But this is so special and so breathtaking to see on screen. So
Yeah.
treat yourself, to something completely and holistically different.
Holistically, I like that.
Yeah,
Very good. Well, Chris, thank you for that glowing recommendation.
yeah.
I,
Oh,
I I
love it.
concur with everything you're saying. That's
Love it.
fantastic. Sinners, it is now out in theaters, so please do check it out. You will not be disappointed. Um,
Sinners is just heavenly.
yes, it is lovely. It
Do I
transcends
do that?
time and space. And
Yes. Yeah.
yes, it's fine. It's a strong one.
It's sinfully delightful.
Indeed, sir. All right. So, I also want to say, since it is a vampire movie, it is quite delicious, and you could sink your teeth into it.
Just
Yep.
one thing too about the vampire element
Sure,
for your
sure.
audience. It's not even what you think of when you think of a vampire movie. It's like it's yeah, there's one or two little jump scares, but for someone who myself, I don't do well with jump scares. Like my horror is not my go-to, but
Yeah.
I when I do love a horror movie, I love it, and this is one of them. It really turns the horror genre on its head, and, and it really grounds it and it makes it enjoyable. Like
Yeah.
for those that, don't typically want to see a horror movie, like or can really stomach the gore of a vampire movie, this does it very well.
Right.
So
It's a really well-made
yeah,
genre bender, I will
yeah,
say.
yeah.
And also, I want to mention two other films that are now out. Well, one is streaming on Netflix right now, actually. It's called Unbroken. And it is a documentary about the Holocaust. You like that segue? This film is basically, it follows a filmmaker who goes back to Germany to find out about her roots. She wants to get in touch with old family members, people that knew her family members. Even though it is a Holocaust themed documentary, it's not depressing. It's actually kind of hopeful, and the emphasis is on family, and it is a very strong one. And I just want to mention it real quick. It's called Unbroken, and it is currently streaming on Netflix. So check that one out. And another one I want to mention is a dramedy called The Uninvited, which is about a stranger who crashes a party of a well-to-do couple, and this in turn sparks a comedy of errors and a reordering of life. It's got a very good cast. Elizabeth Reeser, Walton Goggins, Lois Smith, Ava De Dominici, Rufus Sewell, and Pedro Pascal. And that film it will be on video on demand starting Friday, May 16th. So check that out. I know before we started recording, Chris, we were talking a little bit about Walton Goggins. I don't really know much about the man's filmography. I mean, I'm fairly new to his work, but The Uninvited is just a very uh, good showcase for the actors. So I
Mhm.
recommend that one. That's called The Uninvited.
Yeah,
So
he's hot right now
yeah,
off
he
of
is. He's doing very,
Lotus
very well.
and yeah, yeah.
So, so okay. We are just about out of time, but Chris, are there any plugs for you tonight, sir?
Not too many. I'm just kind of doing my own writing. I'm doing my own spec scripts and you can always see some of my later work on what we covered. And yeah, and just doing more private writing than anything else these days. But yeah.
Sounds good. Love
Yeah.
to. I would love to see one of your films produced one day.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
and one of mine as well. We should
Yes,
we're gonna
yes.
collaborate. We're gonna do
There
something.
you go. I
You know?
think that's gonna be in our future
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. We'll start off with a short, then a feature,
Yeah.
and then Oscars for
There you go. Perfect.
everybody. I love
Perfect.
it. I love it. All right. Well, for me, some plugs here for Under the Radar. Just tune into Slam Radio through SiriusXM every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Also on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And the video portion of the episode will be on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and that's on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And as always, feel free to subscribe and share the to the Under the Radar YouTube channel. All right, that about does it. I hope we did Ryan Coogler proud tonight because
I
the
think
man is
so.
great and Sinners is just a fantastic film.
Fantastic.
So,
Run to go see it. Run.
yes,
Yeah.
run, don't hurt, don't trip, don't
Yeah.
hurt
Like,
yourself.
well, Tom Cruise was loving it, so run like Tom Cruise to the movie
Yes,
theaters.
yes, and
Yes.
then jump on a plane and hang on to the
Right.
side of
Yeah. Or don't watch it on a plane. Don't watch the movie on the plane. Watch it in the theater. Yeah.
That's right. Go to the theater, everybody. Do not stream this. Do yourself justice and
You can stream it
embrace
later on. Later on.
later
Just
on. Yeah.
yeah.
But for this, for
Yeah.
Sinners, go to the
Yeah.
theater.
While it's in theaters, yeah.
You gotta experience it in all its glory.
Yeah.
Gory glory.
Gory glory.
Gory glory.
Ooh. Ooh. I think you should coin that
Hashtag
one.
glory gory. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Chris, thank you so much, sir. You're
Thank
always
you,
welcome
buddy.
on the show. You know that.
Oh,
And
thank you so much.
anytime, anytime. So, everyone, I'm Randy Younger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, one frame at a time. We'll see you next time. Take care.